was shot to death at some point during a Louisiana State Police car chase in New Orleans Saturday evening, but troopers say they did not fire the gun. Troop NOLA confirmed to Fox 8 the car chase ended near Franklin Avenue and North Miro Street Saturday. They say they found the driver shot and brought them to the hospital where that person died. Their identity has not been released. A Troop NOLA spokesperson said he could not confirm if anyone else was in the car, if anyone had been arrested, or if troopers found a gun. A spokesperson did say more details will be released as a state police force investigation continues. Now, Troop NOLA, that's a special investigation unit tasked with proactive policing, traffic enforcement, and crime reduction.